Charlie, take off those glasses. We're doing a TV commercial.
But Jerry, the future's so bright here at Bourbon RV, I gotta wear shades.
That's right. At Bourbon RV, we have more inventory, more parts, and even better service.
We make buying fun at Bourbon RV.
And if you have a problem, see the boss.
Hi, I'm James Bartle from the Sullivan Independent News, and I'd like to welcome you to 5 Questions With. And joining us today is Sullivan Police Field Service Bureau Lieutenant Patrick Johnson. Pat, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Lieutenant Johnson, how long have you served with the Sullivan Police Department, and in what capacities in your term with them?
I've been with the department for 13 years. I got hired on in August of 1999. I've had the good fortune to work with some good guys and have some good training. So in 2004, I was promoted to patrol sergeant. 2006, I was made a detective. I've been working in that capacity since then. Served as a field training officer supervisor. Myself and several of the other officers are meth lab technicians. And I've also been the accreditation manager for the Sullivan Police Department. Last year, the agency was awarded with a state certification, one of the first agencies in Missouri to get that, and that's pretty much a top-to-bottom review of our policies, procedures, and practices. And while we like to think that what we're doing is professional and up to spec, it provides an outside peer review from other agencies who set a standard on what a police department should be and what they provide for the community. And upon submitting ourselves to that process, we were found to comply, and we are up to spec, as you can say.
That was quite an accomplishment. I know Chief George Counts was very proud of that, and great for the department. We've had a number of vehicle break-ins and burglaries over the last year. It seems like they've increased a little bit. What can homeowners do to prevent these types of things from occurring? I know several of them happen to vehicles that are unlocked, like myself.
Well, you know firsthand that if you leave your vehicle unlocked, you're making it easy on them. I've talked to many of the usually young men who are stealing from cars about this, and one of the common things they usually tell me is they don't want to make a lot of noise. They don't want to break any windows. They don't want to set any car alarms off. So what they'll typically do is go through a neighborhood and just start hitting door handles. And whatever's open, they'll help themselves to. Typically, they're looking for cell phones, GPSs, purses, and here recently prescription drug bottles, that type of thing. And at the same time, occasionally they do set off a dome light or an alarm. And one of the things people can do is if they hear something out at night, a car alarm going off, dogs barking, give us a call. Give us a call right away. I'd much rather have the officers respond middle of the night and there's nothing there than have to wake up a vehicle owner or homeowner the next day and say, sorry to break the news to you, your car got broke into.
Right.
And at the very least, if they hear something and the patrol car gets through there, well, there might be a bad guy in the area, and we may have just spooked him away, and at least we're preventing as best we can.
Right, protecting their property and their things.
Exactly.
What are some of the things that the police department sees during the summer months? I know summer is just upon us. School will be getting out in a few weeks. What are some of the things that you guys typically deal with in a normal summer?
Well, people are out and about more. You'll get your things with assaults, and people's just tempers get too much of them. But the biggest increase usually comes to property crimes. You've got people who are out and about more, maybe young kids out later than they should be. And we'll get the vandalism, property crimes up, little property damages here and there. Stealing usually has an uptick during the summer months as well.
And what are some of the areas? I know a police officer, the common citizen may think they go to an academy and then they graduate and that's it. But your officers, yourself, Chief Counts, you're constantly training, constantly learning new things or new techniques. What are some of those things that you learn?
By law, Missouri police officers have to get what they call 48 hours continuous education training within a 3-year cycle. This past January 1st, we started another cycle. I'm also in charge of training for some police department now, and I can say that our officers vastly exceed the required 48 hours. And those are broken down to various core areas without getting too technical what they are, but one of the things I enjoy about working in the Sullivan Police Department is we're afforded the opportunity, and we take advantage of that, to go to various continuing education courses, whether it's from tasering, use of force, investigative techniques, and by continually going all the time, you're able to keep current on the new practices and ways of doing things. In addition to that, the guys they become more familiar with specialized areas. We've got certain guys who are hand-to-hand combat. It's called PPCT, hand-to-hand combat training guys, where they can take specialized training and then come back to our department and train the other guys. We've got several, or at least one officer who's TASER certified. So he's the one who administers the training in-house, and he can turn around and train other officers within the department. And that also saves time and money for the department, so we don't have to have officers constantly go out to these individual academies or schools to learn them, and we can take care of much of that training in-house.
Now, I understand we know the Merrimack Community Fair is coming up June 19th through the 23rd, serving as president in years past and co-president this year. I understand that the police department will meet again with the fair board as they did with EMS and the fire department last year to identify any areas or any issues that could come up. And I do know that the tornado matter was discussed prior to the events that happened, and we often thought that hopefully that never happens, and we had a year where it did.
We haven't set the date yet, but I'm looking forward to meeting with yourself and the other leaders in charge of this. Last year, I know we discussed various possibilities, including what to do if one of the tigers got loose.
Right.
Prior to the fair, both I think Joplin and St. Louis area got hit with some terrible tornadoes, so that was in our minds, and we discussed various scenarios and outcomes, and we had a nice fright with the wall cloud north of town.
Very, very big fright.
And I think it went off, as good as something like that can be expected, and I think that shows the dedication and the quality of leadership we have of the people who have volunteered their time for the fair.
I know we appreciate that, and we do work hard as being a fair board member, and hope that we never have to go through that again. But we want to continue to be prepared and continue to tweak that, and that's again why we'll be meeting shortly here in June. Well, Lieutenant Johnson, thank you for joining us on 5 Questions With. This is the end of segment 1 on 5 Questions With. Please see us next week at www.mysullivannews.com for segment 2 with Lieutenant Johnson.